Hi guys, come make this chicken lasagna with me. To a handy, add in some olive oil, let the oil heat up and then add in your celery and onions. So I've added 2 medium onions diced up and about 4 sticks of celery. Add in 1 teaspoon of salt and give it a good mix. I've got it on medium flame and I'm just going to mix it and then put the lid on. Once my onions have cooked, I'm adding 1 kg of washed chicken mince. I like to break it apart as it's cooking and I've got the flame on high. I don't usually put my lid on because I want the water to evaporate. I hate the smell of meat and that's why I make sure that all the water is gone. Once your meat is cooked, it should start looking like this. And to this, I'm going to add in a teaspoon of garlic. Give it a mix and wait for it to cook. Next, you want to add in your spices. Now, you can adjust the spices to your liking and also add red chili powder. I didn't add any chili powder because the kids were going to have it. And also, guys, this is not your usual Italian lasagna. This is like an Asian-fied lasagna. It is full of seasonings. And I've got my flame on low to medium. Once you've added new seasonings, give it a good mix. You want to make sure the mince is combined with the spices. And then next, you want to get your tomato puree. And guys, I just eyeballed this. I added probably about a big tablespoon of tomato puree. Again, mix that tomato puree with the mince. And then you want to go in and add some water. I added about 1 cup of water just to make sure that the spices cook through. After adding water, I let it sit for about 5 minutes. And then I went in and added some carrots. I used about 6 carrots, but again, this is optional. I try to add a lot of vegetables just so the kids can get their vegetable intake. Mix the carrots and the mince together. Then I'm going to add in a jar of the Dolmio lasagna sauce. What I like to do is add the sauce in first, and then with the jar, I like to fill it up with water. Add that to the handy and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Halfway through, I do like to add some baby tomatoes. Once the sauce is ready, it's time to assemble the lasagna. Now, I made enough sauce to make 2 lasagnas. Now, here's me making the first lasagna dish. So, to a Pyrex dish, I'm adding some of the sauce and making sure that the whole of the bottom is just covered in that sauce. This is just to prevent burning of the lasagna sheets. Next, I'm adding these lasagna sheets, and these are the ones I really like to use because they can cook in the oven. Get some that you have to pre-boil and some that if you put in the oven, they don't cook properly. And yes, guys, this is a lazy way to make a lasagna. I'm using the Dolmio white sauce. I'm just adding it on top of the lasagna sheets. I'm spreading that across. Next, I'm going to go in and add some cheese. So I'm using the medium cheddar, grated cheese, and some red Leicester cheese as well. And then I'm going to repeat this process 2 more times. So I'm just going to add more of that sauce on top of my cheese, making sure that it's all evenly laid out. Now, of course, you guys can add more layers to your lasagna if you want to, but because of the height of my lasagna dish, I've only managed to add 3. I also sometimes like to switch around where I put my lasagna sheets, and I do break some of the lasagna sheets just to get into like some awkward spots. Just adding more of that white sauce on top of the sheets, and then I'm going to top it up with some cheese. Now, this is me doing the last layer. Just to finish it off, I'm just going to add some of that lasagna sheet, and then I'm going to add in the white sauce. And I used the big jar of the Dolmio white sauce, which was enough for me to make 2 lasagna dishes. And to top it off, I like to add dry parsley. I use about a few pinches, and I spread that just around the whole of the dish. Add in some more cheese. I'm going again with my mix of medium cheese and the red Leicester. Now, here's me making the second dish. So again, in a Pyrex dish, I'm just adding my sauce, layering it off with the lasagna sheets, adding white sauce and then some cheese. And here's what it looks like. I put it in the oven for about 40 minutes or until the top started to look golden. And guys, this was so good. I plated mine up with some salad. The next day I had it with chips and beans. And if you guys made it this far, don't forget to follow me for more videos.